Oh, well, hello and welcome back, everybody, land lovers. I hope you had a nice lunch. I haven't had any lunch. I don't know where the time goes. Gosh, just gone 2 o'clock. I don't know who's out there. Let's have a quick look and see if there's anybody on YouTube. I need to get this all sorted out. But let's have a look and see if there's anybody out there on YouTube. Anybody? I've had some boats in. Some people have made some boats. We're going to look at those. Finn made one. I saw that. So we've got his boat. And is anything going out live? Let's have a look. Let's look at YouTube. Yep, it is going out, so we're going to get rid of that. So that was me talking to myself. That's no good. Let's see if anybody's logged in. If anybody's out there watching this on YouTube, go to the little message box at the bottom of YouTube and type a message in, and then I'll see that. If you have sent a boat in, I've had a couple from Northern Ireland. I've had one all the way from the Isle of Wight. That was fantastic. I think that was Finn's. Is it Finn? Master Simpson, we'll call him. Master Simpson, we've got your boat, and we're going to put that in the flotilla. We have got boats from somebody on the Isle of Wight, as I say, not the Isle of Wight, somebody in Northern Ireland. This is very exciting, very exciting. So what are we going to talk about? Well, we're not going to talk about much more about the museum. If you were around this morning, you'd have seen that we had a fantastic visit to the Titanic Museum over there in Belfast. Oh my goodness, all those pointy bits look like the Titanic ship, the prow of the ship. In fact, it's a museum with amazing video screens, and we saw those this morning. So go back to the YouTube channel, you can see that. And we met an amazing lady, Susie Miller, whose great granddad was an engineer on the Titanic. Very sad story, because he died with over 1,000 people that day. Over about 1,200 people died. Terribly sad day. Very, very sad. But she tells the story, and she has got some amazing stories to tell. So go back and have a listen to that. And we even connected her with the Parklands rocket kid in Yorkshire, up in Leeds, because he told us 3 years ago that he loved the Titanic. And we didn't think we'd ever be here today connecting people. And that's what art is all about. We say that art is whatever we do that connects us to somebody else. Art. So in fact, Macaulay, that was his name up in Leeds, his art is asking questions and being interested and working very hard. And he was telling me earlier how hard he's working on his schoolwork, even though he's in a lock-in at the moment, or a lockdown. He's working hard on his schoolwork, and I'm going to send him a BBC Microbit computer later on that he can learn some coding on, because we're going to do coding here in the Rocket Kids Club as well. So lots and lots of fun things. Let's see if anybody has actually popped a message on the bottom of the YouTube box to say that they're watching. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. Let's pause that. The wonders of technology. Oh, let's have a look. Been going for 4 minutes. There's no messages there, not to worry. Where do those messages go? There was a little box down the side, wasn't there, that people seem to. I wonder if I'm looking in the wrong place. Oh well, I have to get this sorted out. There's never enough time to sort all this out. Now, what I want to show you is how we make boats go on the sea like this. Now, this is a real film of the Titanic ship leaving, not actually Belfast, but I said it was Belfast because I assumed it was Belfast, because Belfast in Ireland is where Titanic was built. But this film is actually from Southampton docks, because Titanic left Belfast where it was built and then went all the way around to Southampton, which is near the Isle of Wight, which is a nice connection. And that's where all the passengers got on and then went on a journey. They were aiming to get to New York, and the ship hit an iceberg and sank. Very, very sad. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get all your pictures like this, and we're going to stick them on a little video and show you how we do that. And I think Mr. Simpson and Master Simpson are both going to learn a lot today from this, and then they'll be able to do this in their school when they get back to school. Can you see how that boat looks like it's floating on the sea? It's actually drifting off, isn't it? And here's another boat that somebody made out of a playing card. That's a playing card. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you can just see, can you see the dark line at the top? Just up in the top corner up there, I'm pointing to that with my little mouse, that little dark line there. That is actually the corner of the picture, because the picture wasn't very, very good. The blue or the green background wasn't very even. And because it wasn't very even, you can just see the edge. So when I start playing the film again, You see how that line moves, because that's actually part of that picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to put your boat and somebody else's boat on this picture now. Now, how do I do that? Well, I'm going to show you how I do that. I do that with a super program, one of my favorite programs, and that's a program called Adobe Premiere. Now, this is the posh one. There are lots of different versions of Adobe Premiere. You can even get a version that you can use on smartphones called Adobe Premiere Rush. And I am going to demonstrate this for you. I'm going to demonstrate Adobe Premiere Rush. Just need to change my screens over so you can see what I'm doing here. Can you see that on the screen there yet? So you see all those slides that I was in front of there? That's just PowerPoint. That's just PowerPoint. If you know anything about computers, you've probably used PowerPoint for putting pictures up. And all the slides that I was sitting in front of there, all PowerPoint slides. And using a special technology, my special mixer here, I can remove the green background and make it look as if I'm actually standing in front of the PowerPoint like I am now. I'm not really in front of my computer screen. I'm not really in the computer. Let me show you where I am really. I am really in front of a green screen. I'm really in a room with a big green curtain behind it, which you can see here. You see that? I'm now in a big green room. Well, room with a green curtain on the back wall. Anyway, let's have a look at here. Can you see that? So there's the roof, and there's my table, and there's my iPad, and that's what we call a mixer. That's what mixes all the different video signals together. That's my laptop that's got my PowerPoint on it, my drink of water, my messy desk, because I just don't have time to clear up from the last time. And then over there is my desk, and then there is the television. And on that television, can you see that television on the wall over there? And I've got some lights here. That makes it nice and bright. I've got two big bright lights, look. And then over there, you can see a camera on the right, which is pointing at me. So if I wave, you can see me waving there. That's in that screen over there. And then on the television are all the different channels, because I've got 8 different channels of video that I can look at. So number 1 is me, and the one on the left is showing what's ready to go next. The one on the right is what's going out. Then number 2 is the laptop, and then number 3, and all these different pictures and videos, and we can see what's going out live. So that is just like being in a television studio. This is how they make television programs. And on this table here is our mixer, as I say. So I've got 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 channels, and they're all plugged into cameras and the computers and my iPad. And even my iPad, I'll show you something really cool. Look, my iPad has got the controls for the Vision Mixer on it. So all the buttons on there can be controlled on this iPad, and I can even adjust the volume. So if I'm talking at the moment on this one here, so if I turn this down, you won't be able to hear me until I bring it back up again. If I turn it down, you won't be able to hear me until I bring it back up again. So I've got lots of controls on the iPad that can control that mixer. And look how many mice I've got. I've got 5 mice on the table. It's so complicated because over there I've got 3 laptops, and those are the laptops that people ring me on. So if somebody comes in for a chat, so if you wanted to chat with me now, you'll come up on one of these laptops and a wire goes into the back of the mixer, and then I can mix you and press the button and bring you up on the screen. So that's what we're going to do today. Hopefully if somebody Skypes in. In fact, I might see if I can connect with somebody in Northern Ireland, or even connect with somebody in the Isle of Wight, because I think we've got somebody in the Isle of Wight who's made a boat. Let's see if we can connect with them later on. So not just yet, so don't panic. Oh, we've got some viewers by the look of it. That's great news. Just had a text message from somebody. What's going on here? This is Gina. She's got Skype issues. Oh dear. Any excuse. Not to worry. She's been on the show lots of times. She's been fantastic. So what are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do video editing with this program called Adobe Premiere. And that's not Adobe Premiere, because that is Adobe Premiere. There we are. Okay, so this is a video editing program that we use to make videos. So I am going to go and open my last project, which is, is it that one? I'm running out of desk space here. Let me have a look. So this is the program I use to make all my videos. Now we've had some pictures sent in And some of them sent them in on coloured backgrounds, which was lovely. Here's one that was sent in. That's a super looking one. Look, that came in from Northern Ireland. And let's see what else we've got. Don't want to adjust my audio, so this is a bit complicated. I've just got to do some, have to excuse me a minute. I've just got to change a couple of little things here. So let's change the sound so that everything goes through there. Although I don't think we're going to have any sound in this. We're just going to have pictures on this. So this is my program. So what have we got on the screen here? Well, I'll show you what we've got. Down here, we have got, well, start up here. Up in the top here, we've got the video of what we're going to see in the video we're going to get. And I can go backwards through that. So that's the video. Okay. And at the bottom down here is all the little things that make that video up. And these are in different channels. Can you see that? So they're in different channels. And as we go through it, this little blue box here moves and the picture changes, because the video up here is whatever is under this little line at the bottom here. Whatever's under that line appears in the video. So we're just, at the moment, all we've got is this blue box at the bottom here, and that is just video of Titanic. And if I move backwards and forwards, you'll see that that video moves backwards and forwards as well. In a minute, I'm going to touch a little bit of pink, and suddenly some text has come up and saying, today we're there. So if I double click on that, that will bring that little piece of text up. So I could change those words in that box there. And then over here are all the different bits of video that have gone into making that film. All the different photos and videos and pictures and words. Now, if we play through this, you'll see that in a minute, a little blue boat appears. So there's the blue boat, and that is that graphic there. Now, as you can see, it's got a blue background. And I've used the special software to turn the blue into transparent to make it disappear so that we can see that. So let's have a look at our little video and let's run it and see what happens. So I press the click button, and this is the video playing in the top right hand corner. And there's our boat sailing past. So we've taken the blue out of it, and another boat turns up. This is a playing card boat made out of a straw and a playing card. So here is the Titanic. Now those two boats are quite small over there. Can you see they're quite small? So this is, we've got lots of space here to put some of your boats in. So I want to go and see what boats I have had made for me. So let me have a quick look in here. Let's have a look. So these are the boats that we've had made today. Now this is a boat that was sent in from somebody in Northern Ireland. It's a lovely boat. Now they haven't done the background in blue or green. So I had to go into an editing program like Adobe Photoshop and cut the background out. So now the background is transparent. There's a picture that somebody did on a blue mat. That's a good idea because blue is one of the colors I can remove. The only trouble is it's not flat blue, is it? Can you see it's blue and white and black, and there's dark bits there. So that really probably isn't going to work. We can maybe experiment, but I cut it out anyway. That took me about 2 or 3 minutes to cut out. Oh, wow, look at this. This is Master Simpson's Lego ship from the Isle of Wight. That really does look like the Titanic. And he's got 4 funnels, one of which we know is a fake one. One really doesn't have smoke coming out because it was a pretend one, so it looks like a great boat like all the others. And there, oh look, there he is. There's Master Simpson there who made that boat. Isn't that fantastic? Down there in the Isle of Wight. So what we're going to do then, we're going to get these boats and put them in our video. So the first thing I need to do is import them into my Adobe Premiere. So I come down here and I go and find those photographs, and I have to get them. Now, if you know anything about computer graphics, you'll know about JPEGs. JPEGs are the file names for pictures. So here are some JPEGs of a boat, but over here is the one where the background is transparent. We've deleted the background and it's a PNG. That means it can have transparent backgrounds. I want that PNG, and I want that PNG, and I want that PNG. So I've actually got all these boats with no backgrounds. They're transparent, the backgrounds. Now let's get Master Simpson's boat on first. So I pick it up from here and I drag it over here to wherever I want it to appear, and you'll see it's now appeared in the middle of the window. It's a bit big, so let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's size it like that, and let's put his boat just there, like that. So we'll make his boat start when the picture starts. So let's make it start over here. So let's drag that to the beginning there. Let's drag it for the whole width of the movie. So that's now going to run all the way along there. So his boat is now going to float in the middle of the sea, but it's not moving very well, is it? And it looks a bit silly by not moving around. So what I'm going to do, this is really complicated now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it rock in the water. So I click on it and I go to my effects and I say, right, let's make that the position that it starts in, and let's make it rotate 3 degrees. So if you watch now, you'll see the boat tip. Oh, you see it tip a little bit? And then I'll go here and I'll make it tip -5 degrees, so it tips the other way. So that is now going to wobble in the sea. I didn't click the first one, so let's do that again. Let's put that back so that goes to 3. So that's going to wobble. Now what I can do is if I copy and paste those wobbles like this, like that, that's going to wobble all the way along there. Put some wobbles in there. So that's going to look like it's wobbling in the sea. Let's watch it play. Can you see how it looks like it's wobbling a little bit? I quite like it to wobble a bit quicker than that. So let's copy those and just paste them in a few more times. There we go, fill those gaps in. That's not much good, is it? Let's put those in there. There we go. So we've got lots of wobbles. That boat's having a good old wobble. Now let's make it go from the start of the sequence. Let's make it move from there all the way over to there. So in all that time is going to go from there to there. And let's move that endpoint. So this is quite complicated, but this is how these things are done. I can't excuse that, I'm afraid. So now when we watch play, let's see what happens. Here comes Master Simpson's boat. And there you go. It's not doing it. Why isn't it doing it? I got a bit distracted then, sorry. There we go. There's his boat rocking, and over the next 30 seconds his boat is going to go from one side all the way to the other. Oh, I hope he doesn't crash into that boat. I hope he doesn't crash into that boat. Oh. No, it's all right. Okay, so I think that's probably taken a little bit too long to get over there. This is not a good time for my Bluetooth mouse to stop working, is it? So let's make him go to that point there. So at that point there is when he gets to the end. Okay, so now he's going to move a little bit faster, hopefully. There he goes. So he's drifting around. Okay, so let's get one of the other boats that we had. Let's get this one and let's make that float on there like that. And let's make that appear. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make him come. Whoop, we'll get that boat to come from the side of the screen. So we'll start that one. Where do we have as our end point? Let's have a look. Let's go back there. Okay. And let's just chop that so we know where we are. Okie dokie. Right. So this is the, where's that boat? Oh, there he is. Look, oh, that's massive, isn't it? That's far too big. We can't have him that big. He's going to dominate the whole sea. So let's make him a little bit smaller. And let's make that one start just off the screen over there. We'll make him start there. So that's the position for that one. And we'll start with -5 degrees rotation. And then we will come across to here and where has he gone? Oops, I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. What's going on here? The trouble is when you get it off the screen, there it is. Alright, okay, when you go off the screen it can be a bit tricky. So we'll make him come across to there. like this, and we'll say that at the end of the sequence he'll go to there, and we'll have that boat coming quite late. So now let's play this video and see what happens. So there we go, there's the little Lego boat bobbing around, and any time now, here comes, oh no, that's not that one, where's the other one gone? Is it going to come in? Well, here it comes, look, drifting in. Oh, it's going to crash, it's going to crash. Oh, it's going, oh, it's gone. Now that doesn't look very realistic, doesn't it? Did you see how it went on top of, did you see how it went on top of the other boat? That's not very realistic because it was actually a bit smaller and it should be behind. So what we can do is we can bring this boat and put it above it on the list here. So now it will play in front of it. So there's the Lego boat merrily going along as the Titanic gets ready to set sail. Here comes that black boat. Oh, and here's our little Northern Ireland boat cruising past. Oh, he's not rocking though, is he? Why isn't he rocking? He's not rocking very much. Let's have a look. Why isn't that one rocking very much? Need a bit more rocking going on, I think. Rocking action. We didn't put any rocking in, did we? So that's rotation 5 degrees, and let's make it rotate to -5 degrees. And now let's just copy those like Billio and just cut and paste those in wherever we want, and that will make that boat look like it's rocking around. And this is how they make Star Wars, basically, just more and more of this, and those are the sort of effects we use for making boats buzz around the screen. Where's our little, here he comes. Oh look, it's rocking. Oh, it's nice and wobbly now, and it's going to go behind the Lego ship, and there we are. And now what I have to do is I have to save that, so I have to export this video. So I say export, and this will take a couple of minutes to what we call render it, to crunch it all up. So it has to get it all up and it has to crunch it and make it into a little film. So let's have a look on here, and and we'll save this film as Titanic Flotilla Final, because that's the finished one and it looks great with your boats in it. I think everybody sent a boat got one in, but I don't know if Gina sent one in. We'll have to see her. I'll give her a ring in a minute, shall we? So we say work area, we want to export that, and now that is going to be crunched, and then we're going to be able to send that in. So let's just see if Gina, let's see if she's in. And I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll see if Gina's there, because they've got some blue stuff. But while I'm here, let's see if we can connect with the Isle of Wight. Stand by Isle of Wight. Oh no, here we go. Gina's there. We'll come back to Gina in a minute. Okay. Oh, we've got an artist coming in. Fantastic. We've got an artist from Northern Ireland coming on at 3 o'clock. Oh, this is a really exciting. It's all happening as we go. So we'll connect Gina there in a minute. I don't know if you're watching, Gina, but we'll connect with you in a minute. I'm just going to have a quick chat with my friends down here in the Isle of Wight. So what we're doing now is I'm connecting to the Isle of Wight, and we're going to have a chat with them and see what they think of their little ship there. Let's have a look. Is he going to answer? Yeah, looks like he's answering. Turn his screen round. Fantastic. Let's get this on. Okay. Hello, Isle of Wight. Can you hear me down there?
Yeah, can you hear us?
We can hear you. Fantastic. Have you got YouTube on?
We have, yeah.
So I'm going to stop this camera now, so you won't see me anymore, which isn't the end of the world, probably. Oh, we've got boys and girls there. Fantastic. So let's get you up on the screen. Hello. What are all your names? Do you want to tell me your names? You don't have to if you don't want to on the television, but if you do, that's great. Is that okay, Dad?
Isla.
Isla.
Yeah, that's fine.
Isla from the Isle of Wighter.
And who are you?
And what's
Finn.
Finn. Who made the super Lego boat I saw earlier?
Finn.
Was that Finn's, was it? Wow. Let me see if I can find a picture of that. That was fantastic. Is it this one here? Let me see it. When I do something here, it takes 8 whole seconds, believe it or not, for you to see it in the Isle of Wight. Oh, you've got it there. Fantastic. You've got it up quicker than I can see it on my own computer because my computer's working hard making that film for us. How long did that take you to make, Finn?
2 hours?
2 hours.
2 hours, blimey. And did you do it from instructions or did you do it from your imagination?
From our imagination.
Good. What, did that funnel just fall off?
Yeah.
Can you hold it up again for me? Hold it up in front of the camera. That's good. Because did you watch the show this morning?
Yeah.
Do you know how many steam engines that Titanic had?
The trick question, isn't it? We learned this morning.
How many steam engines?
There was 3 that worked and 1 that didn't work.
That's exactly right. So how many steam engines did it... Well, let's do some maths. How many funnels has your Titanic got?
4.
4, very good. And if one of them doesn't work because it hasn't got a steam engine connected to it, how many steam engines are there? Do you know what 4 take 1 is?
Yeah.
Is it?
If you've got 3, very, very good. Good maths. So basically, what that means is that Titanic cheated a bit because it only had 3 engines, but they had 4 funnels because they wanted to show off. That's a bit cheating, isn't it? Do you think that's cheating? So do you think you should take one of your funnels? Can you take one of your funnels off for me and make it like the real Titanic, or is that not going to look cool, do you think? What do you think? 3 or 4?
Hold it up to 3.
What do you think? It should have 3 or 4 funnels. It doesn't look quite right, does it? What do you think, Finn? What do you think? 3 or 4? What do you think's best?
4.
4. I'm inclined to agree with that. I think it's sort of boy racer psychology that we're talking about here. So how are we doing, Mr. Simpson? You down there on the Isle of Wight? You're having a busy day, are you? Juggling your school responsibilities and children?
Yeah, doing a bit of homeschooling and a bit of Lego building and watching the interview this morning with the Titanic Museum lady was very interesting.
Susie Miller, wasn't she super? Absolutely. And she's coming on at
really interesting.
Coming on at 3 o'clock for a adult version, but I don't know quite what more I could ask actually because I couldn't hold myself back with all the questions we were having. So you're helping us organise this Kids Lit Fest, aren't you? That's fantastic. We talked about that in Parliament the other day. How's that going?
Seems to be going quite well. I'm not going to spoil a big announcement yet, I don't think.
Oh, you got an announcement, have you? No, that's fine. That's fine. You got an announcement. You have to tell me that later on. Fantastic.
I will. I'll give you a call later on. But yeah, no, I've been posting on Twitter about it and got a few people interested. Some other teachers and a few people interested in doing some book recommendations and doing the Pass a Kids book with the hashtag for that as well. So hopefully we'll get a few more of those arriving and be able to put them up.
Fantastic. So just to remind everybody, Richard is helping co-curate a kids book festival, the Hay Kids Book Festival. Bit of a play on words. Hay Festival, Hay, H-E-Y, and basically it's a book festival on the 24th of May, which is a Sunday afternoon, for kids and parents and all sorts of people who are passionate about kids reading and kids books. And Richard has just let slip that we've got a very special announcement in the next day or so about a very, very special author who we hope will be able to help us with that, and hopefully lots more as well, because this is probably the only kids literacy festival and reading festival that's going to be happening. And the other day I was on the top of Parliament and I threw a book, one of my favourite books, Rocket Boys, down, and Richard caught it and he's passed it on. And do you want to explain how that works, Richard, that they pass the kids' book? How's that working?
Yeah, if people want to take hold of a book that's been passed on to them, do a 60-second video review or a recommendation of another book, and then they would like to pass that book on to someone else. That's the idea. So take a little video of yourself recommending a book that you've read or enjoyed or you think other people might. Talk about it, pass it out of the screen to the left, and hopefully someone else will pick it up and pass it on by either reading it or recommending a book of their own. And then they'll make a video, and hopefully it'll be passed on, and we'll have a month full of reading.
Fantastic. Well, I've actually, believe it or not, while you were talking then, I was trying to listen, but I actually got to the video that you're talking about. So this is where I'm up on the top of Big Ben, and I throw the book down. Over to Rich Simpson, and hope he can catch it. Catch this, Rich. Oh, there we go.
Oh, thanks for the recommendation, Nick. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Everybody I've given it. What a great catcher you are, Richard. A good catch, huh?
All my years of rugby experience there, Nick. Yeah.
Is that rugby coming in? Is it? So you're originally from Belfast, is that right? Or Northern Ireland?
I'm from which is right up at the very top of Northern Ireland, right up on the North Antrim coast near the Giant's Causeway. But we fly back to visit my mum. Still lives in Portrush, and we fly into Belfast right over the top of the Titanic Museum.
Oh, do you?
And the Harland shipyard where you are at the minute. There's the two giant yellow cranes in the background that are really famous landmarks in Belfast. They call them Samson and Goliath, involved in all the shipbuilding projects there.
Oh wow, let me see if I can pull those up. So, Samson, Goliath, Belfast. That should find it, shouldn't it? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Wow, here we go. Oh, they're very modern cranes then, by the look of it.
Yeah, big giant yellow in the Harland and Wolff shipyard there. I think they're mainly used in constructing oil platforms and things like that now, but in the past they would have been involved in more of the shipbuilding.
I have to get through my YouTube adverts. I have to treat myself to a YouTube account, I think. I've had enough of YouTube's bullying to get me to pay for... So is this what you're talking about? This crane here, is it? It'll take a few seconds to get up on the screen for you.
Look
like two big goalposts.
Yeah, two big giant yellow... yes, that's them.
Fantastic.
So if you fly into Belfast City Airport, well, it's not called Belfast City, they renamed it actually. It's the George Best Airport. You fly in, it's literally behind the shipyard, and you fly in over the top of those two cranes, and the Titanic quarter now is all on redeveloped land in and around the dockyards there. They built the Titanic Museum where you're, or pretending to be, or where you are today, and they built a huge arena for events. And lots of regeneration in that part of the world. It looks really good. We've not been to visit the Titanic Museum yet. Finn's really excited about when we're allowed to travel again. His granny has promised him a visit to the Titanic Museum.
Is that something
next time in Northern Ireland?
Is that something you've been discussing for the last few days? Is it weeks, or is it something that's sort of renewed interest from all this Lego making?
No, we've flown over the top of it a few times and seen it, but I think it's quite. You've seen it lots, haven't you, Ella? You want to go and visit? You like the shiny buildings, don't you?
No, it's funny because I just feel like a complete philistine for not even being aware of it, to be quite honest. You know, it opened in 8 years ago. Although let's face it, 2012 was a pretty big, busy year, wasn't it, for everybody? We had the Olympics in London and street parties and all sorts of stuff going on. So it just sort of slipped through the cracks a little bit there, unfortunately. So fantastic. Should we have a look at the video that we just made with your boat on it?
Next thing we can watch this video that Nick's made. Very interested in all your technology, Nick. We watched all the mixers and the laptops and the screens how you put the video together.
I've actually had the detail pointed out. I wrote Titanic left Belfast docks, but actually this is footage from Southampton, as you probably heard this morning, because it obviously travelled from Belfast to Southampton empty. And this is a little movie from this morning. So it's remarkably realistic, isn't it? I think just those little details, a little bit of rocking. A little project for your year sixes when you get back to school, sir. There you go. Look, there's your little ship floating on the sea in front of the Titanic. And there's another one just about to come in from the right, hopefully. Here it comes, wobbling around on the rocky waters and goes behind yours because we moved it up. But as I say, this is all done using Adobe Premiere. There's a thing called Adobe Rush, which you can do on your iPhone, smartphone, Android phones, tablets, and it's just fantastic technology. And LGFL, who've sponsored our community lock-in, anybody who uses the internet with those guys, and they're a charitable trust. It's not that they're a big business, but a charitable trust gets all the Adobe software for free, which I just think is fantastic, to be honest. So
we're not EFL school, I don't think, sadly. So I'm not sure how we'd go about that.
Yeah, well, there's
look into.
There's ways of I think they're getting involved. They're sort of moving out across the country more and more. Now I've just got somebody on the phone over here actually who I'm just going to try and connect to. We've got Gina and the girls there. Let me just work out what connection I need to get them on. Yep, so they are, let me move you down on the screen a little bit and get them on. Hello ladies there in Westminster, can you hear me?
We can.
You can. Are you on, you've got it on the TV as well, have you?
Yes.
So I can turn that video off, that's good, so we get rid of that. So what have you been up to? Did you manage to, I know you got a little bit of a slow start this morning, didn't you? Did you manage to make any boats?
Yeah.
Where's your boats?
Where's your boats?
The other way.
Oh, fantastic, look at those, they're great. They're really clever, and you've got lollipop sticks in those as well, like sort of coffee stirrers or something. You've got I Love Art stickers on. Is that all out of your art time box, is it?
Yeah.
And where did you? How did you fold the little bit inside the boat up? Because mine went a little bit. Mine ended up like a coracle when I tried to push that bit through there. How did you manage that?
We followed. What did we follow? We followed a YouTube video. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Maybe that's what I should do. Actually, follow some instructions. And did
Yes,
you? And did I see a little bit of blue material? Have you managed to find a bit of blue material kicking around the house? Have you?
Yes. Do you want boat?
Stay with us, Richard. But I'm just going to mute you, Richard. Well, I'm not going to mute you actually. But you can stay there. You can keep watching. But these guys have actually got some blue material, and we're gonna get their boat on the screen with Titanic in real time. So, girls, do you want to go and stand in front of the blue screen? I've got to turn myself off because only one thing can do this at the same time.
You can go in there.
I've got to change. Right, you're on number 7. So I'm going to show you all the button pressing I've got to do here. So let me get this camera up here. So I've got my vision mixer here. This is my mixer, and I have to press lots of buttons to make. Okay, so can you go in quite tight, Gina, so that it fills the screen with the blue in the background? Maybe just one of you at the time. And if you stand to the side,
Right, one of you at a time. Who's going first?
Stand to the side with the boat, so there's only the boat is on the blue.
Right, Rems, put the boat. Hold the boat here.
Right, I've got to. It's a good job I read this manual the other week because it's quite hard. So you're on channel 7. So let's press that. Now I've got to turn it. So instead of being green, it's blue. Okay, exit. You can't do that in that box there. Let's keep you guys there so you can watch what's going on. Let's put you up there in the corner. And now I need to mix you on number 7. There you are. And if I press that, you should. Okay, why isn't that coming? Oh, it's because I've got the wrong background on probably. Let's get number 3 up for the background. There you go. Now it's going to take 8 seconds to come along. If you can fill the screen with blue, Gene, so there's no door handle on, if you can possibly get in as close as you can, so it's just the boat. And if she steps back a little bit and holds the boat out at arm's length, you are now floating your boat in front of the Titanic. That is just amazing. Can you see that?
You've got a bit of magic paint.
Can you see that? Isn't that clever?
It's got a blue pink butterfly. Butterfly's a bit free.
And now the other one. Let's get the other boat in. Now it looks like you've got a blue butterfly on the front of your ship, which is why it had a hole in it.
We did put a blue one.
That's okay, but it's how we learn, though, isn't it? Hold the end of the boat, just the tip of it, without your hand underneath, and then you'll see it. That's it. A little bit closer to the door, maybe. And now your boat is floating in front of the Titanic. We are making. Who needs Star Wars when you can make your own films like this? Isn't it fantastic? So the idea is that anybody can come into our community lock-in, the special studio we've got here, and we can do conferences, we can do disco dances, we can do anything, and people could be anywhere in the world. So I tell you what, why don't you stand in front of your, turn the phone up on end, Gina, and put the girls in front of the door, and we'll have them both, and they can stand there in front of Titanic. That's it. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Oh, I tell you what, that blocks out the. Okay, you have to do them widthways, I'm afraid. Turn the phone round, Gina. So that's it. So they've got it behind them. So if that whole wall was covered in blue, or go in quite close.
Here, stand up, because I've got some on the floor. You can stand here. We only need that. Stay there. Right, lean on it. There you go.
It is quite tricky, isn't it? There you go. Look, you're now both standing in front of Titanic. And in fact, I could even take you all the way to Ireland and we could pretend that you are actually at the Titanic Museum. Let's try that. Let's try that. Hang on a second. So now you're in front of the Titanic Museum in Belfast. The wonders of technology. What do you think of that, Isle of Wight? What do you think, Richard?
Very impressive.
Say hi to Isla and Finn in Isle of Wight.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you again. Good news. Tomorrow we are in Glasgow and we'll do some coding tomorrow. We'll do microbit coding tomorrow. Do you fancy that? Do you want to do some coding? Yeah, and you guys on the Isle of Wight and in London. Yeah. And then Thursday, so we're in Glasgow tomorrow, and then Thursday we're in Cardiff, and we're making rockets on Thursday, and we're going to fire another dynamite rocket because we're going to do the Rocket Boy story in the Welsh valleys. Who fancies that? Who likes that? Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, that's 2 yeses from Isle of Wight about it.
Oh, fantastic. Now, the only problem is, because I can only have one thing at a time in what we call the chroma key, which is that little box, I've got to bring myself back by doing this, which is a bit rubbish, because I'm now in a green box, you see, because I can't have... You've used the green thing, you see. You'll see in a second. Shall I hang up? No, it's all right. Doesn't matter. I can make
Nick, anyway, we're going for a walk in a minute, so we're quite happy to
we're
hang
done.
Up here,
we're all done now. We're 15 minutes over. Thank you all very much. Big waves.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Richard. Happy days in the Isle of Wight. Good luck with the book festival. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, Nick.
Goodness me, what craziness this is, huh? Absolutely fantastic. So now I've got to try and rebuild this programming system. I wonder if, let me see if I just press that. Will it bring me back? Yeah, it has. That's not too bad, is it? Gosh. Whew. Wow. Back in the land of the living. So there you go. We've made some paper boats. We've floated them on our river in front of the Titanic leaving Belfast, or is it Southampton, or is it Stranraer, or does it really matter? Because today is all about pretend, using our imagination, big pretending or little pretending. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're pretending, we're in a community lock-in, and we'll do what we like as long as it's safe and not too silly or rude. That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for checking us out. It's been amazing being here at the Titanic Museum in Belfast. We're here again in 15 minutes, which gives me time for a cup of tea and something to eat. We're going to be chatting to Susie Miller again, whose great-granddad was on the Titanic. And we're also going to be chatting to a super sounding lady called Deborah Wenlock, who's an artist in Belfast, a real artist, as in a painter artist. I'm a real artist in that I'm a, what am I suppose the art of dads. I'm doing my best as a dad because I'm a dad and I do what I can. So we'll see you in 15 minutes for the Art Connect show. We've been hoping to try and get some people from Eden Project, but we haven't been able to connect. It's very difficult with people in and out of work and furloughed and whatever. But hopefully we'll be able to get someone from Eden Project. There's somebody I know in the Northern Ireland who I met at Eden Project when I was there at the end of last year. So 12 minutes back on air. My stomach's rumbling, so I'm going to go and get something to eat. For now, I'm just going to play you one of our little videos, which for me says it all.
The thing. The guy who invented the ship also invented the shipwreck. And either you're in or you're out. Either you want to play this game or you don't. Art doesn't work because we did something conventional and predictable, and here it is industrialized, right? Art works because we connect.
So the festival that we will be organising in 2022 is a festival of creativity in its broadest sense. So what we're looking for is events that will help to bring people together and show the value of art.
An event like this is absolutely overdue. Being from a working class family as well, we've never had access to the arts.
I think this is amazing, and we should encourage Nick to do more of this so that we can connect friends through art. Is actually amazing.
Well, a lot of schools have taken music out of their curriculum, and I find that really important.
This book is going to change lives. There are 7 stories.
Keep doing what you're doing. I love your passion. Please keep doing what you're doing, inspiring the kids. I think it's great. Not enough parents spend enough time with the kids. They leave them on the iPads and things like that, and I absolutely love it. Keep doing what you're doing. I love your passion.
Boys will be boys, better let them have their toys. Girls will be girls, cute ponytails and curls. Must put an end to this stress and strife. I think I want to live that sporty life.
I'm going to make it happen for you, Nick.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to make it happen for you because what you're doing is, in the end, absolutely brilliant.
I had the idea of getting a big screen to come here and celebrate, and I did a thing called a crowdfunder. I said to lots of people, I only gave myself 24 hours, and they said, you'll never do it.
One time for the Lord.
Art and creativity is absolutely everything, you know, to secure the jobs for the future.
Niall, what does collaboration mean to you?
For me, collaboration is everything. So my whole life is a collaboration.
Whoa, this is pretty scary up here. Take those down now. I don't think we need that. So we'll just catch that, Dave. Yep. Sorry, mate. Oh, sorry. Birdman on the loose in Westminster. I want to talk to you about books just really quickly. I mean, this is a book that I'm particularly fond of at the moment. David Almond, My Dad's a Birdman. We're going to be announcing a massive book thing in the next few minutes, so stay with me. I love this book. This is a book about a dad after my heart. Dad is building a pair of wings, eating flies and feathering his nest. Auntie Doreen is getting cross and making dumplings. Mr. Poop is parading the streets, shouting louder and louder. And even Mr. Mint, the head teacher, is getting in a flap. And watching it all is Lizzie, missing her mum. No, not even missing her mum, missing her mam. And looking after Dad and thinking how beautiful the birds are. What's behind it all? It's the Great Human Bird Competition, of course. And that book is such an inspiration for me. It's a book about a dad who's a bit crazy, acts a bit crazy, to inspire his kids, to inspire other kids. He wants to fly over the River Tyne. He's covered himself in feathers. Very Icarus-y. So what's it all about? Well, we've got a book thing going on. I mean, I've got my favourite t-shirt on here. This was inspired by this book, the Seth Godin book, The Icarus Deception. And I know a few of you out there are fans of this, people like David Waring up there in Chester. And there's a lovely little piece in this, The Icarus Deception. It's about Icarus, as you know, the Greek myth, the boy who was told not to fly too close to the sun because his wings might melt. The boy who was told not to fly too close to the water because he might get wet and drown. He was given rules and to fly within those. And we've got to help our kids fly high. We've got to help them aim high. We've got to help them find their passion. We call it their art. And in this book, Seth Godin talks about art is frightening. Art isn't pretty. Art isn't painting. Art isn't something you hang on the wall. Art is what you do when we're truly alive. If you've already decided that you're not an artist, it's worth considering why you made that decision and what it might take to unmake it. If you've announced that you've no talent in anything, then you're hiding. Art might scare you. Art might bust you. But art is who we are and what we do, and art is what we need. An artist is someone who uses bravery, insight, creativity and boldness to challenge the status quo. And an artist takes it all of it, the work, the process, the feedback from those we seek to connect with, very, very personally. Art isn't a result, it's a journey. The challenge of our time is to find a journey worthy of your heart and your soul. The 24th of April, we're going to be doing the Hey Kids Book Festival. And today, I'm launching the Pass a Kids book thing. So one of the books that's really inspired me is this book, and if you know anything about me, you'll know about this book. Rocket Boys, a story of 4 boys growing up in West Virginia in the 50s, didn't want to be coal miners, saw the Sputnik satellite and learnt to make rockets, and ended up working for NASA. And Homer Hickam, the author of this book, sold millions of copies all over the world. Homer Hickam, the author of this book, has agreed to be the patron of our Rocket Kids Club, which is an incredible honour. One of the things we want to do with our Hey Book Festival, Hey Kids Book Fest, is to inspire people to share their love of reading, to share their favourite books. And I'm working with Rich Simpson, who's a fantastic primary teacher down there on the Isle of Wight, who I met when we did the when we did an Isle of Wight art takeover. He had a really obvious passion for books. It was incredible how he was inspiring his Year 6 kids down there in his school. So what I propose today is that we start a hashtag Pass a Kids book. And I'm going to chuck this book down to Rich Simpson, down there in the Isle of Wight somewhere, I think over that way somewhere. I'm going to chuck, or is it over there? Maybe over there. I'm going to chuck this book over to Rich Simpson and hope you can catch it. Catch this, Rich. Oh, there we go.
Well, thanks for the recommendation, Nick. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Everybody I've given a copy of the Rocket Kids book. I would love you to make a film of you catching that book, picking up a book that you're going to pass on and pass it off the screen, and let's do one of those keepy uppy but with books to celebrate children's reading, to celebrate children's literature. And the people I'd love to see involved in this would be David Waring up there in Cheshire. I'd love to see Simon Kidwell involved, Simon Smith over in Whitley Bay, who's fantastic with his picture book work, and I'd love to see a 60-second film by any of those people with those books. Dave Shakeshaft, Chris Tolson, Chris Dyson, Rachel Snake, all these people I've given a copy of this book to. I'd love to know what you think. And share, spread the love. I'm trying to think of that lovely head teacher at Woodlands Primary in Chester, actually, I gave a copy to on her birthday. So I want to see you give us one of these. So pass the book, that's what that's all about there. What's it like about making rockets and having that sort of fun? Art is what we call it when what we do might connect us to somebody else. And for a community nurse like that to come up and say, I've never seen so many parents engaging with their kids. Everybody's so happy, just wonderful, what great feedback. And that's what we need to do. We need to bring that creativity to the whole country. As I say, Wednesday, I can't wait. No, Tuesday, we are going to be in Belfast at the Titanic Museum. The world's most inspiring shipbuilding museum, a celebration of that ship, the people who lost their lives tragically, but the inspiration to young people and old across the country. A ship built in Belfast, but with steel from Sheffield, and we've got an expert, hopefully coming on the show, who's an expert on the Titanic, and we're going to be reaching out to him. At the end of the month, we're going to be doing a festival, the 29th to the 31st, the Art of Community Festival, and we're going to be doing that with creative carers, people like the RSA and our friends there at Brewed, Ed and Darren. We've got an inflatable pint pot there, and we were down there the other day testing the screen. We're trying to build our own little Glastonbury in a field in a quiet corner, but it's not going too well, to be quite honest with you. But that's where we're going. And then at the end of the month, the week before that, the 24th of April, we're going to be doing the Hey Kids Book Festival. And today, I'm launching the Pass a Kids book thing. So one of the books that's really inspired me is this book, and if you know anything about me, you'll know about this book. Rocket Boys, a story of 4 boys growing up in West Virginia in the 50s, didn't want to be coal miners, saw the Sputnik satellite and learnt to make rockets, and ended up working for NASA. And Homer Hickam, the author of this book, sold millions of copies all over the world. Homer Hickam, the author of this book, has agreed to be the patron of our Rocket Kids Club, which is an incredible honour. and an incredible achievement for us to have him on our team like that. And we'll show you a film later of the inspiration that he brought to us here in our community lock-in just the other day. Absolutely fantastically generous man, and we just can't thank him enough, or anybody else who's stepped up to help us. Now, as I just said, one of the things we want to do with our Hay Book Festival, Hay Kids Book Fest, is to inspire people to share their love of reading, to share their favourite books. So what we're going to be doing is every day for the month we're going to be picking a book of the day, and I'm working with Rich Simpson, who's a fantastic primary teacher down there on the Isle of Wight, who I met when we did an Isle of Wight art takeover. He had a really obvious passion for books. It was incredible how he was inspiring his Year 6 kids down there in his school. So what I propose today is that we start a hashtag Pass a Kids Book. And I'm going to chuck this book down to Rich Simpson, down there in the Isle of Wight somewhere, I think over that way some. I'm going to or is it over there? Maybe over there. I'm going to chuck this book over to Rich Simpson and hope he can catch it. Catch this, Rich! Oh, there we go. So that's a copy of the book, hopefully gone to Rich. But everybody I've given a copy of the Rocket Kids book. I would love you to make a film of you catching that book, picking up a book that you're going to pass on and pass it off the screen, and let's do one of those keepy uppy but with books to celebrate children's reading, to celebrate children's literature. And the people I'd love to see involved in this would be David Waring up there in Cheshire. I'd love to see Simon Kidwell involved, Simon Smith over in Whitley Bay, who's fantastic with his picture book work, and I'd love to see a 60-second film by any of those people with those books. Dave Shakeshaft, Chris Tolson, Chris Dyson, Rachel Snape, all these people I've given a copy of this book to. I'd love to know what you think, and share, spread the love. I'm trying to think of that lovely head teacher at Woodlands Primary in Chester, actually, I gave a copy to on her birthday. So I want to see you give us one of these. So pass the book, that's what that's all about there. So, I've got to get this sign down, I've got to get out of here pretty damn quickly, but let me just tell you a little bit about what we got up to in Parliament the other day. We had a fantastic day. We pretended we were in Committee Room 14, as you can see here. We had the Lord Mayor of London, of Westminster, sorry, the Lord Mayor of Westminster, Councillor Ruth Bush, who's the first ever Labour MP to hold that post. We had Gina, a mum in Westminster, and she spoke, and her daughters came on and had a chat with the Lord Mayor of Westminster, who's actually their local councillor as well, which is just fantastic to create these connections. I really can't believe it. And Gina and the girls there had actually just taken hold of one of our art time boxes. This is a box containing coding kits, rocket making kit, t-shirts, papers and books, and we want to send out to communities on our tour. And we may even end up selling these, I don't know, but it's just about creating that inspiration. So she's had one of those, they've had one of those up on the Seacroft estate, and it's just been absolutely fantastic. We've connected the Lord Mayor of London, the Lord Mayor of Westminster, be careful saying that, the Lord Mayor of Westminster with Tom Morley, who's a fantastically inspiring artist, rock star, former drummer in Scritti Politin. He's done a lot of work with us. He does corporate innovation conferences, keynote speeches, motivation stuff. He's just brilliant. From the boardrooms of the biggest blue chip organisations to Extinction Rebellion in Marble Arch, Tom Morley just pops up everywhere, and he's just such an inspiration. Piers Thompson came on from Portobello Radio, and Chris Sullivan, we got him. He's a fantastic creative artist, club runner. He ran a club in Soho called the WAG Club for 20, 30 years, and so it was great to be able to introduce